What's up, people? I'm Old Spy. Welcome back to Night Souls, the beginner's walkthrough for Demon Souls. We are just getting started here. We went through the tutorial last time, looked at our combat style and all that. We're going to do that same stuff again when we get into this first Archstone. We're heading to the Archstone of the Small King. That's where we're going to start. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Boletarian Palace. Load screen's going to give way to a quick cutscene, which, since it is quick and it's kind of cool, we'll go ahead and watch it. Alright, so getting started. This, by the way, is my very favorite place in all of the Souls games, right here. Boletarian Palace. I love it. Where I fell in love, first time I played it. Great. So getting started, first thing we want to do is run back this way. And we're going to grab an item. We're going to get some late moon grass, which is going to be very helpful. Let's see what we got. Alright, so we got our grass. I typically put the grass in order. We're not really going to need these two, but at least we'll stock up as we go. We'll rely mainly on the crescent moon grass for this first area. We don't really have anything else that we need to slide in there, so that's fine. A couple things before we get started. On the first episode, I did misspeak a little bit about the parries. I think I said R2, and then I think I said it again and corrected myself. So I just want to be clear. L2 on your PlayStation controller is the parry. Okay, L1 is block, R1 is light attack, R2 is heavy attack. Also, incidentally, to two-hand your weapon, you want to hit triangle. That will two-hand your weapon, and that's useful for getting any kind of guard breaks or doing extra damage. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to lay out here before we get started. All right. So when we get into this, we got a couple guys. We're going to go... Whoops. One too many. Going to be able to back away, though. So, another thing. Click the right stick to lock on. Use the right stick when you have multiple enemies to toggle between which one you're targeting. Sometimes it's useful to lock on. Sometimes it's useful to just stay unlocked and manually target your enemies. So again, we're going to go back into this, the same combat, block with our shield or parry, whatever one you're most comfortable with. I'll probably be doing a little mix of both. But as we get into this and as we push forward into the level, the thing you need to realize in Souls games, the thing you need to keep in mind is that this is not, they're not hack and slash games, okay? Yeah, you got your sword, yeah, you got your, some other cool weapons that you get throughout. But they are not hack and slash weapons. Like, if you charge into and aggro all of these little tiny enemies, no matter how insignificant they seem, they will kill you. The idea is self-preservation. You want to survive in Souls games. And the way you survive is being aware of your surroundings, right? Looking around, checking corners, taking it kind of slow. And also treat all the enemies with respect. Like, I know that sounds silly, but they can do damage and they will kill you if you don't respect them. Is just how it goes. But if you do that, if you play like that in all the Souls games, you will have success and you will have fun. you know. And you know, some of you might question why I'm going back to Demon Souls in 2019. Besides the fact that it's just a freaking amazing game, you know, I would really love for a resurgence of, you know, this title. I would love for them to remake this title, remaster it, I guess, whatever you want to call it, since they're all in the habit of that. All the companies are doing that. So like I said before, my goal is to get new players into this game. I know by now it's 10 years old, plus 10 plus years old, or right at 10 years old, I believe. But, you know, getting new players into this and other Souls games is just something I think would be great. Especially now because, you know, after Dark Souls 3, there's really no known or immediate plans for another actual Souls game. I know FromSoft is working on a lot of other titles, but, you know, I don't know. I just think it's a great time to revisit the series all the way through and try to help people get into it and make it easier for new players. So that's the goal. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get back to the combat. Whoops. See, it's another thing. You got to keep an eye on your stamina. I wasn't paying attention. Getting a little bit too excited. Go ahead. Keep our health as full as possible. Coming in here, soul items. Another thing I wanted to mention is I'm not going after all the items, but you know, if it's there and we see it, we're gonna pick it up. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to access any hidden items or anything like that. But if it is there, we will be picking it up. So you will get to see quite a few of what the levels have to offer in terms of items. Gotta watch out. The fire guys do hurt, man. The torch guys or the flaming sword guys can put a quick hurting on you if you're not careful. We got an ambush coming here. There's a guy up there. He's gonna throw down a firebomb. When you get close, just run through. Now you want to stay out here and fight because that guy up there will start throwing fire bombs. So we'll let this guy come to us and then we'll take him out. Moving through. We'll come back for that item under there in a minute. Lure him out. Fight him out here. Dang. Launching him away from me. Use a heavy attack to kind of poke that guy through if he's standing in here. Whoops. So another thing while we got this nice little tight space to be aware of is hitting your weapons on certain areas. It will cause your attack to stop. So you really want to be aware of where you're fighting your enemies. You don't want to go jamming yourself into tight areas because it will hinder your combat. It's also why it's really important to note your weapon's moveset, because some weapons do great in tight quarters, like spears and stuff like that will handle them quite nicely in tight areas. Alright, you saw I dealt with the ball trap up there. Be aware of that. Also, I'm not really following my own advice. As you can see, I'm sprinting around, which is costing me stamina. So I'm going to slow it down here a little bit. We're going to go back that way in just a second. Here we got a Blue Eyes Knight. Oops, you can't parry the shield. He does the shield to try to break your guard, so you do have to watch out for that. What is going on with my parries? There we go. Again, I find the easiest way to parry, or to handle those guys, the Blue-Eye Knights, is to parry them. With limited health in soul form, you may find it easier just to kind of run past him to get into here for now. Again, there's no shame in survival. You don't have to fight every enemy, but you know, make sure you got a clear escape route before you run past enemies, and don't run past too much stuff, or you're going to cause lots of trouble for yourself. Okay, these are exploding barrels, so you definitely don't want to... Alright, whatever. We'll just take care of those, because those guys are obviously stuck right there. Okay. So the guys with the flaming swords, a couple things. They're going to be a good source for fire bombs, grass, and turpentine. So as you'll see, this area, come out, knock these chains, and puts a few items on the ground, and we're heading down there. So we'll get those in just a second. Take this area nice and easy. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. So there's some grass. And a slave shield, which obviously is pretty useless. Alright. Important item here early on, the cling ring. So here's our ring slots. We have 2 ring slots that we'll be utilizing very much so throughout the playthrough. So you lose less HP when in soul form. Once again, you look at our health bar, it's pretty much halved. Go ahead and slap on the cling ring, and you can see we gained a good amount of HP. That set is for female characters only, so we can't wear it. And then the jade hair ornament we'll actually use to acquire a pretty useful ring. And I'll show you that coming up. So, this, by the way, is a shortcut that we opened up. Step out here, you can see we're right at the beginning of the level. So we've made some pretty good progress. And we're going to continue on through pretty much... Yeah, we'll continue on. We'll make our way to the second shortcut, which is going to complete the circuit of the level. So we'll head back up. Okay, a couple things here. We're actually going to come back to this area. We're not going to go down there. As you can see, that there's a red eyes knight. It's actually like this guy right here, but he's got red eyes. He's got a spear. And we're going to get back to him. We're not going to fight him now because we could probably beat him, but there's really no reason for it. And we're actually going to make use of him in a little bit. Also down there is a crossbow. I'm not going to be using the crossbow. So if you want to jump down and get it, now's the time to do that, but I don't really want to use the crossbow. Alright, so we're going to come down here. Again, make sure you pay attention as you come down. You can see we got someone standing there and we've got an item. So how do we get there? No ladder. You can't jump, you can't climb. But there's certain special areas, like that stone right there, where your character will automatically vault over. And we're going to get another very useful ring, Thief's Ring. So it'll become harder for enemies to detect. And we're definitely going to use that for now. You see it puts a little smoke trail on our feet. we got an NPC here.
That was a bold jump. A surprise indeed. Well.
All right. So he's wearing our same armor and all that. But if we jump down very carefully. Take some wide swings. You don't really have to worry about the combo. Just keep swinging with light attacks to take these guys out. Keep an eye on your stamina. Back away if you need to from corner to corner. But don't run out there if you get in trouble, because you'll just aggro more enemies.
My thanks for your... I am Ostrava of Boletaria. Accept this as a token of my gratitude.
Alright, telescope. Well, we're actually probably going to follow this guy's... He'll probably be the one NPC that we actually follow his quest line. Just because I do want to pick up his sword and shield towards the end game. Alright, these guys come out in an ambush. There's our combo. Bam. Take this guy out. And see, you know, I don't recommend... Oh, nice drop. Wow, a claymore. That's awesome. So you can buy the claymore on this level, or the next level, I think, but it costs like 6,000 souls. And early on, it's definitely not worth it to spend that on a weapon. But you need 20 strength, so we won't be using it for a while, but we might put it to use. We also picked up the bastard sword, which could possibly be something that we use a little bit down the line as well. That requires 18 strength, and we're not quite there. We're going to stick to our longsword +1. There's also a dex weapon in here, dexterity weapon, the scimitar, and we will not be using that at all. Again, if you want to deviate at all, if you find a weapon that you really want to use, you can go ahead and build your character around it. Feel free to deviate from what I'm doing at any point in time. But I will say, if you follow along with what I'm doing, you should have a great deal of success. Yeah. Exploding barrels, so you can use those to your advantage if you have a firebomb. These guys don't have any fire on them, so we don't have to worry about those barrels. And when you aggro them, just use your light attacks, wide swings. Wide swings are really good for taking out groups of enemies. Especially these guys, because you can see even your light attacks stun them. As long as you don't run out of stamina. Light attacks will stun them. And you'll be good to go. He's just going to wander around. We're not going to worry about him anymore. Full item. Okay, you got to proceed this way. You have to attack these, take them out, which is going to alert these guys, and they're going to come in. Nothing too major. Just be sure that you're aware when you come through. And you can see how our light attacks are just stopping those guys in their tracks. I'm not getting any backstabs. Get out of here. Alright, so a little bit of a splitting paths here. This is the way, if you don't know about the drop down that we took to get the ring and help out the NPC Ostrava. If you don't know about that, this is the way you'll come through. You got an ambush right here with the guys up top. You got this guy shooting at you. Nice. Okay. As you can say, I'm just mainly using light attacks is really all we need. Trying to get some backstabs, but they are not coming out. There we go. Alright, so two things. If you're running back that way, or if you're coming from the other way, this is a big time trap. The one time only. Once that big explosion comes, it's not going to happen again. Also, a little bit of a area that you can easily pass by if you're not aware of it is this guy. He's a merchant. We're not going to deal with him because we're not going to buy anything. But if you want to grind a little bit or whatever, or get some extra souls, you can buy some weapons and one armor set, which is what these guys are wearing, I believe. You can hear the there's a blue-eyed knight. You know they're near because you can hear them breathing, kind of like Darth Vader. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that. Go ahead and take this guy out. Just because. Why not? Alright. So right up here at the corner we got another trap. I think it's a trap. I don't know. I've never walked down there without hitting this thing. So you can see you had all those guys waiting for you. If you smack that thing and let the boulders roll down, clears them all out for you, and you can just stroll through. Alright, so you see we got these the dragons over there, and we're gonna head over there because we have some real important items over there that we want to get. But there's a specific way we're gonna go about doing that. First thing, these guys are a big time pain in the butt. Do not sleep on these spear guys, because they got their shields and they know how to use them, and they will come on. All right. That's the beauty of our shield. There we go. That's a good way. Let them recoil off your shield and slide around and get a backstab. That's a really easy way, effective way to deal with those guys. Okay. So this place is loaded with these fun scenarios here, as you can see. Ambushes and traps and everything. So this just looks like a regular old bridge where you got to fight some guys, right? However, as you just heard the flapping, here comes our good buddy to lay some fire down. So we're gonna let him do that. If I get out of this animation, I'm cooked. Backstab, or the critical attack animation got me. All right. We'll see if we can get him to do one more. You see, he's cleared off the bridge for us. All right, so he's going to do that. No, he's not. All right. So this can be a little bit tricky. And hopefully I haven't messed it up. So when we run away on the first flame, he should stay here and do one more. He should do two. Maybe. Okay, here he comes. I might have messed it up by not getting there the first time. Nope. Okay, so he did two. So we're in good shape. So he still has to go through that and then fly back around. So we're going to run through here. Snag these items. Now we got, the only thing we got to watch out for is the tail. But here's how you get around the tail. Come up here. There's the tail swing. Run back. And I'll show you the items when we get through. Because we got to get out of here before he gets back. So we got them all. That's how you clear out that area of treasures there. The treasure trove. Come around here, got a couple more items. Archstone, that'll take you back to the Nexus, wherever you're at. And then some grass. Okay, so I do want to remind you that that whole stretch right there of doing that run is much easier if you pop off your armor real quick. Go ahead and suit back up. Now, we got the Ring of Great Strength. Raises maximum equipment burden. This is key to our build since we're going to be wearing the knight armor the whole playthrough pretty much. Or a full set of armor the whole playthrough, heavy armor. With the equipment burden, when we have that, as we start to level up our endurance, once we get that up, and I think it's once we get it up to 20, we'll be able to do the fast rolls instead of these clumsy things. Okay, so we'll actually be able to roll with the heavy armor instead of flopping around like a fish. So the Ring of Great Strength is going to be something that we're going to definitely have equipped, and we're going to probably pop that on as soon as we get our physical form back, which is coming up. We want to get around these guys. He missed, but I'll lure these guys out away from the crossbows. It's really not worth it risking trying to get those items. We're just going to leave them there. I know that might drive some people crazy, but we're going to continue on. So we got our First boss fight available and opened up. Turpentine, which is going to be extremely useful for the first boss. And that was fortunate. So again, you got to be very careful in here, because these guys can overwhelm you very quickly. That guy in here. Flaming sword guys. Yeah, it was bad timing. Terrible timing. There. Alright, this enemy type. So you can't effectively, I mean, you can attack them from the front, but it's not very effective. So what we want to do is, okay, generally, there we go. Get behind them. Bam. Attack them from behind the shield, hit the slimy part, and that's how you take those guys out. Now, learning that fact also makes the boss fight much easier. So if you pay attention, and I mean, they're giving you a quick clue as to how to deal with the boss, at least one way of how to deal with this first boss. So that goes back to what I said. Make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to your enemies. Those guys are also an excellent source of the first level upgrade material, and even the second level, actually, for that matter. So as you improve your luck, you have a better chance of them dropping upgrade items. Okay, here we are, first boss fight. Before we go in, we want to do a little bit of preparation. We don't need all that grass in there. We're going to equip the turpentine, and we're going to equip the fire bombs. And let's do it. When we come in, immediately we recognize these guys. We know how to take them out, but you can kind of go around however you want to do it. Take out some of the stragglers first, and then fire is a great tool here. So our fire bombs are definitely going to come in handy. You want to try to throw them where you can hit as many of those adds as possible here. Take them out. Kind of a waste. Make sure you keep your shield up, because those guys will be launching spears from all over the place. Like that. And if you eat too many of them at once, you're going to be in big time trouble. Whoops. Take the opportunity. Anybody you can, any stragglers that have their shields pointed away from you, go ahead and take them out. Alright, so now we're out of fire bombs. Let's go ahead and put some turpentine on our weapon. Top off our health. You can see we've already done quite a bit of damage to the boss. I like to take these guys out before I start in on the... You don't have to. You can actually defeat the boss before these guys are defeated, but at this point, why not? Dude, he is on the run right now. He wants no part of this flaming sword. It'll probably be much easier for you not to lock on. Oh, wow. I didn't even not pay attention to my health. That was pretty close. That would have been the stupidest death of all time. Or it would have been up there at least. I like the two-hand. There you have it. Just defeated your first boss. Again, these guys will drop some upgrades, so make sure you pay attention and pick up any of the items in here. There it is. Come over to this small archstone. Grab your boss soul. Let's return to the Nexus.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the Nexus to thee.
Alright. So we'll go ahead and talk to the monumental before we wrap up here. The monumental. Gotta go way, way up. Pretty damn cool. Right out here. You can see all these dudes are trashed, except for this guy. He's got the head tracking going, so that's the guy we want to talk to.
We have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons.
Alright, so he's going to give you the backstory of everything. You guys can listen to that. Like I said, we're done, pretty much done with the story. I'll let you guys flesh out the story on your own.
Now it is you must have.
But he does,
Yes. We are fought now. The old.
he does unlock all the other archstones. So now we have basically free roam to whatever archstone we want to go to. We got our full health bar. Ephemeral Eyes, that gives you, if you die, the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes will turn you back to your physical form from soul form. So one last thing, we'll go ahead and do some leveling before we call it here, if I can find my way out. Alright, so the way to level up, you gotta talk to the Maiden in Black.
Brave soul, prithee, lull the old one back to its.
Okay, she's going to give you these, which are completely worthless because they're multiplayer items, and multiplayer is no more. So the maiden controls inhuman souls. This power allows you to aid those who slay demons. Leveling up.
What is it? Dost thou seek soul?
Yes, we seek soul power.
So be it. After all, let the soul of
Okay.
the mind key to life's ether.
So, few things to keep in mind when you level up. The first thing for us is if you want to make the game easier, if you want to be able to survive, vitality and endurance. Those two things.
So the world
Your hit points and your stamina bar. Okay? Above all else. And we already have a pretty decent weapon that we're going to be able to use. So we don't really need to worry about our stats right now. We will. And we're also going to worry about luck, because luck is really useful for that drop rate that you see. That's going to help us get upgrade materials. It's going to help us keep a good stock of healing items. And as we move in and there's some other items that we want to farm for, some weapon buffs and stuff like that to help us out. The luck is, I don't know how many people use it, but I love to use luck in Demon Souls. So it's going to be part of the build that we're using. For now, I'm just going to alternate back and forth. Okay, so that was it. But we have a bunch of soul items. So what you want to do is, we'll go ahead and clear this for now. Equip any of the soul items that you can. Alright, so we can equip those. Those are the soul items that we have. This way we can use them from here. Otherwise it's a pain in the butt. So now you see, you just hit square. Going to continue using those. Going to add to our pool. Alright, also, we have 2 boss souls. Now, you can craft special weapons with these boss souls, but we are not going to do that because our focus, we're not worried about fancy weapons. Our focus is leveling up and getting our build going and getting our stamina and our HP up. So we're going to use these to get souls. So when you use them, if it's a boss soul or a special soul, it's going to give you the chance to cancel before you use it. We're going to go ahead and use them. We want to get the levels. That's the most important thing right now. So then when we finish the game and you jump back into New Game Plus and you're playing through on your own, you want to think about a different build, or you want to, not really a different build, but you want to tweak the build and go a different way, and you really want to try out a specific weapon, then you can do that. So it will add to the replay factor as well, the value.
Thou seekest soul power, dost thou not? The soul of the mind.
Alright, so we're back at it. We're going to go evenly.
Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel.
And I like to shoot to get those to 20 as quick as possible. Alright, so we're out of souls. One last thing before we cut it off here. Make sure you keep up with stockpile. Make sure you're dropping off your stuff so you don't get your item burden, which again you can see down there towards the bottom right. Anything that you are not using, anything that you do not have equipped or you're not going to use for the level, throw it in stockpiles inventory. Okay. Consumables really don't take up much, so we're not going to worry about that. We're going to keep all of those.
Yeah.
And one last thing. We're going to swap out our ring. We're going to throw on the Ring of Great Strength. And we're going to keep the Thief's Ring on. We're going to put our grass back in. And a turpentine. Okay, so that will do it for this episode. When we come back next time, we will take on the second level of the Archstone of the Small King. So I will see you next time.